You're listening to KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine.
The opinions and views expressed in this program do not reflect those of KUCI, its management, or the UC Board of Regents. To find out more about this talk show or other talk shows broadcasting on KUCI, log on to our website at kuci.org or check out the latest program guide.
This is Ashton Marcus, and I'm on location at the Fountain Theater for the world premiere of Arrival and Departure.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm at KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with...
Hi, my name is Deanne Bray, and I'm Emily is the role. Did you enjoy it?
Oh yeah, I loved it.
Good. I am an ASL teacher, and I teach ASL combined with the foreign language department and at the Oak Park High School. I love my job. I've worked there for about 37 years and teaching many different students. Also, I've been at school for a long time. I've been completing, so acting has kind of been on hold because I've been trying to complete my master's. So I've been acting since 1991, and my first acting show was here at the Fountain. I was about 19, my first time, and Stephen was my first director too. And now I'm back here again. So, 27 years later, I can't believe it. And I'm blessed. I'm really blessed to be working with my husband, Troy, and he's been acting on the stage for many years. So many different things. I've been kind of brought into this whole world. This is now my home. So supporting him, I'm kind of, I'm here to support him, but then he also brought me into the acting world too. So very grateful for that.
And which character did you play?
I played Emily in the play, and my husband played Sam. So we were the love interest of the play. We met and fell in love, and we're married to each other people. And I love Emily as a role. It's the opportunity to see the world. This is who Emily is, but she happens to be hard of hearing. She's also like everyone else who wants to be seen. She wants to be, she's invisible at the moment. Her husband, Doug, doesn't really see her and understand her. The marriage doesn't really work out. And it's the same applies to many people nowadays. There's ups and downs that people go through. So Emily is going through changes, and she meets Sam, and the two characters, they bring out the best in each other. And Emily, it makes choices. She makes life choices, like everyone else. You make life choices, and you have consequences and results. So Emily decides to stay with the family, stay with her daughter and her husband, try to make things work out. But she changes. She's been changed by that, and she becomes stronger, and she's identified as who she is. And everyone is seen as a full person now, not just trying to, I accommodate you by speaking, but now you have to give me something halfway. Yeah, but it's not only about that part. It's also about Maya and about Russell. There's different characters, their own love stories too in the play. And also, there's the daughter. So Jewel, she is excited and she's kind of discovering what life means. She's going through her peers and all that. So the audience really feels a connection with so many different people in the story. And it's about love. And a mother and a daughter relationship as well too. So many different things.
Also, I loved you on NBC Heroes. I was a big fan of yours.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Did you see Heroes?
Yeah. Well, one of the reasons is because my son is blind.
Oh, okay. Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I've always wondered, basically, what would it be like? Because there are people who gravitate towards him. They're very kind to him. And, it's not just one day or 1 month. They're like for 10 years, they just gravitate to him. They treat him very kindly. And I always wondered if he got married. Would some people marry him just because he's blind? They just feel sorry for him. They want to take care of him. It's very similar to this play where my son, I'm just wondering if he would get married and the person would love him just because he's blind. And what would happen if he met someone who was blind? Would they basically...
Well, yeah. I understand that. So, but with this play, I feel like, deaf and marrying another deaf person or being in love with a deaf person, it's about souls, like he happened to be deaf and I happen to be hard of hearing. But these two souls just kind of cross. And then Emily feels there's like, it's kind of this whole different, like fascination. I feel like it's amazing. It's a gift. It's a thought about that. And it's just kind of worked its way into them being in love. Maybe about being deaf and, falling in love with each other. It's more just a fascination of who he is as a person. And his thoughts, his ideas is not the same as Doug. So, yeah, for us, how we communicate, well, there are some things, people who are deaf, sometimes they don't communicate well, even though they're both deaf, and sometimes the marriages don't work out. So it's how to communicate, how to connect with someone, how to look into each other and be seen. So, and it's not about being invisible, it's not about being life is busy, and forgetting about the quality time with each other. It's like people almost forget that. You have to nurture love. You really have to, nurture it. Deaf or hearing, it doesn't really matter.
But aren't there some things that only another deaf person will get? Like if there's a blind person, I know for a fact I will never understand my son. But a blind woman would understand my son. Something I can't share with him, but something that they would be able to share together that no one else would understand.
That's probably true. Like if your son met a sighted person, or a sighted woman, but she had a beautiful soul, I mean, that might be something. But maybe a person who was blind and would understand someone, yes, maybe on a deep level, they could. But I guess with this play, it's about souls and how someone is interested in the other person and how their way of looking at life and enjoying life, I don't think it's maybe as much about being sighted, being blind, being deaf, or hearing.
Well, I love the performance. I thought the men were very charming. The women were very elegant. You guys, as the actors, just flowed beautifully and communicate together.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoyed the show and what we're thrilled to share with you and share with the world.
Yeah. Also, the production values are fantastic. I think that part of it has to do with, again, technology being so incredibly important in a disabled person's life that you just have to have it. It syncs so well together, and I thought it was beautifully done.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. I'm really proud of this production.
Well, I love your performance. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. And I'm here with...
Hi, my name is Troy Kotzer. And I play the role of Sam in the Fountains Theater, Stephen Sachs' Arrival and Departure. I've been involved in theater for 25 years, including directing, making movies, all kinds of things. Different hats that I've been playing so far. I've been born and raised in Austin and Phoenix, and I moved here to LA since 1994. And I was kind of stuck here because I feel like, there's so many opportunities. There's different theaters, and I've been here for the rest of that. So I met my wife here in LA, and we have one daughter. And we've been part of Deaf West for many years.
Great. And which character did you play?
Which character? In this play, I play the character of Sam. He is a deaf teacher. He teaches film to different deaf students at the School for the Deaf. And today it's kind of a popular thing because 2018, there's so many technology, there's different things that deaf people can use and play with for editing and phones, so all kinds of things to encourage them, to the students, to be creative and to be motivated as he teaches film. And then at that moment, he meets Emily and at the donut shop, and that's where he happens to see, she's signing to get someone's attention, and then, oh, can I help you? Something in your eye, and in that moment, somehow, it just sparks flew, and that became, it wasn't expected kind of thing, but it was an experience. He fell in love.
I thought he was very charismatic. I thought he had a life in him. He had an artistic soul to him.
Thank you. Yeah, with Steven Sachs, he made the vision, and my character, he articulated it, and he kind of made it a real person. And now you can see someone in New York, and Emily's like, oh, I've never seen someone like you. Oh, there's a deaf person, and it makes her feel seen, and she's a different person, a different perspective on life, and he sees things differently than how she would see things, and it's just more he sees through her. And it changes, different people. The story is about change. Everyone has experiences in life, and they change, and they get to the next level. Doesn't matter if that, whatever that situation is, the people affect other people. And that's what Steven Sachs, how he wrote that. It's about change and how people do that.
I can't help but be very curious. How did you get into acting? I mean, you were born disabled. Was that an impediment? Did you just give up, or did it help you?
Oh, good question. So when I was younger, I was 12, I feel like I didn't see a lot of people signing on the stage or in TV a lot at that time. And then one day, a group of deaf people, so there was 3 hearing people and 3 deaf people from NTID, the National Institute for the Deaf in Rochester, New York. So that at that school, that university, they had a traveling tour, and they came to visit my school in Phoenix, Arizona. It was a high school. So that was a residential school for the deaf. And we were sitting and we were watching this play. My parents were hearing, so they didn't know any sign, they knew some sign language. And there's different theaters who came in. And I feel like in that moment, I'd always miss that because there was no interpreters, or I'd have to get things explained to me. But that night, when I was watching a deaf person on stage, and they had hearing actors in the play as well, all 3 of us were laughing at the exact same time. So we were enjoying that moment. The very first time, we were laughing together because there was no delay. We would see everything on stage, so no one was missing any of it. And I feel like after that, I feel like the deaf actors, I mean, they were older than me. I was a 12-year-old at that time. I asked him, hey, are you deaf? He said, yes. I said, well, I want to become an actor. Can I do that? And he said, of course you can. So I can see, like, hope. I'm able to do that. I can be an actor. I can be on stage. And I was involved in Gallaudet, the university, and then I was for the National Theater of the Deaf there. And so I was there. I did a traveling tour. I moved to Deaf West Theater. And since then, since 1994, I've been through many different vetted teachers. So like Philip Foreman, who won the award from the Children of a Lesser God. So that play in 1980s, and he was a professor. And now I feel like now this is my next step. So there's deaf kids who are coming up to me and asking me, oh, you're deaf? And I can tell them, yes, you can be an actor. And I smile and I say that exact moment, it's almost like deja vu. I give those kids hope. And that's really important for kids to see that they can become, there's a role model for them. They can become successful as a deaf person.
A little bit about myself. My son is actually blind, so he's disabled also. Yeah, and actually, tonight I felt something. I felt a different community experience. Almost like a different language, a different environment, or a different theater style. It was beautifully done, but it was actually the soul of an artist coming through. Even though, again, it wasn't communicated through, again, you're speaking, I still felt your artistry come through. I just loved it.
Yeah, no, I'm very happy that you kind of had that opportunity. You could see how the 2 languages, there's like almost like 3D, like a whole nother dimension. You see sign language, you hear it as people are speaking it. So it doesn't matter who you are. I feel like, it could be sound or it could be visual through the eyes, and it's more about access for the audience. It's just the diversity, and it's very important, and it's wonderful about this production.
I just hope that my son grows up to be like you.
Oh, I hope he does too, and I hope to meet your son one day. That would be a great opportunity, so I love that.
Okay, I love the performance tonight. I love your performance. You were fantastic. I'll never forget this performance in my entire life. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming and giving the time for that. I appreciate chatting with you. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Adam Birch. I'm from the Bay Area. I went to school at UC San Diego, moved up to LA to act and write. I've published a couple books, and I've been in numerous plays throughout Los Angeles.
Great, and which character you play tonight?
I am the voice primarily of Sam, who is the lead deaf actor in the show. So I voice his character as he acts on stage and signs.
I usually ask an actor about the character he plays, what's your take on it? Because, two different actors play totally different. Even though you voice him in a certain take. What's your take on his voice? Sure.
Well, Sam's an incredibly passionate guy, specifically about film, which is what he teaches. But he's sort of been complacent. He teaches at school, he teaches film, but what he really wanted to do was go out and make movies, and he got sort of sidetracked along the way. He meets Emily, chance encounter at a donut shop at a subway station, and sees in her something that sort of sparks that inner passion, and they sort of bond over that. And not to spoil anything, but a transformation happens for both people.
Actually, I really enjoyed the performance. I actually liked your performance. I noticed all the men, even yourself, they're so incredibly charismatic, so eloquent, so smooth, so charming. What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, we are. In fact, we worked and talked about our charisma and charm before the performance, and we said, you know what? This is a play that needs some joie de vivre. That's my take.
So if my viewers decide to come by and see this piece, what should they expect to see?
They should expect to see a unique theatrical performance. It combines English language, ASL, which is sign language, American Sign Language, video, captioning. It's kinetic. It has a lot of movement in the piece. It hits on multiple fronts. There's even parts where people are texting back and forth, and you see that on the screen. So it's a really unique theatrical experience that you won't get anywhere else in Los Angeles.
I have to compliment you guys on your interplay, because this is like a teamwork. I noticed during some of the choreography of when they were walking together to symbolize like a subway, a crowded subway station, or basically just the interplay between you guys, because there's a lot of comedy, a lot of wit. For that, you need timing, and also you just have to embrace the character. Even though you're not the one. You're just his voice. You still have to embrace the character.
Yep.
You have to be meshed with him, and you guys did it beautifully.
Practice, 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 and just be open to the other performers on stage and what happens, being present, and react.
Well, I loved your performance. Fantastic radio voice. I'm really envious.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm at KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. And I'm here with...
Hi, I'm Stasha Surdike. My last production, I just worked with Adam Birch, who is my peer in this piece, as the voice of Emily and the voice of Sam. Adam and I were in a production at Sacred Fools Theater together called Akuma Shin, and I just recently did 2 productions in the Hollywood Fringe Festival, which both won Best of. I was in an immersive piece called Unreal City, and I played the queen of Unreal City, and another piece called This Almost Joy, and both of those won Best of Hollywood Fringe Festival, so I was very proud of that.
And which character did you play today?
I played the voice of Emily, which is signed by Deanne Bray. Emily is an amazing woman who is going through a metamorphosis, and all of the challenges that she is facing with her marriage, with her husband, with her daughter, with herself, all of these layers pose certain challenges for her as she is beginning to embrace her faith and converting to Christianity and Catholicism. So in her process, what she realizes is something that she has denied herself above all, which is her deafness.
My son is blind, so he's disabled. But the thing about it is, I've always wondered, would someone actually love him or just go out with him because they feel sorry for him and says, oh, because I've known these people who just shower my son with affection. They do it for like 10 years just so they feel sorry for him. It's a very genuine feeling, but very sincere too. But then it's kind of like, the only reason you really like him is because he's disabled. But then later in life, I'm just wondering, if you really meet someone who's blind, did he marry someone just so that he can get someone to drive him around? But when he meets a soulmate, what does he do? I mean, someone can really identify with his blindness, his disability. Someone who actually lives the same life he does, and you've just never done that or never given yourself a chance to that. What would happen if something like that happens? And I saw something like that tonight.
I agree with you. It does happen, especially on this stage this evening. There are moments in each of our lives that if we are lucky, if we are fortunate, we meet a soulmate. And I've had that experience twice now. And life, as Sam says, sometimes throws you a curve. And you may love each other. You may see yourselves together. But the universe has not planned that for your journey. And so the lesson here is that it is better to love and to share and cherish those moments and know that you've loved fully. And hopefully another soulmate will come along and you can be together. But that is what I truly believe. And you learn lessons from your partners, and hopefully you're also as much a teacher in giving back to your relationship. It should be 50-50, always. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. Again, I really love the performance because, again, it's like, first of all, the acting was fantastic.
Thank you.
It was something that you'll see a different type of acting here because, again, it's from the deaf community. So fantastic movement, fantastic timing syncing with technology.
Yes. This is one of the most fascinating, challenging shows I've ever worked on because, I don't read ASL. I had to learn signing from our first day of rehearsal, as did Adam. Neither of us read ASL. So that was a process unlike anything I've experienced before. We were fortunate to be given several ASL classes by the Fountain, provided by the Fountain. But as Adam said, practice. I worked so hard. I had so many doubts about whether I was rising to the occasion, if I was speaking the lines with the intention that she had. And I'm so grateful because it was pretty obvious, not only from callbacks after the first audition, but at callbacks, Deanne and I had an instant rapport. And as we began our rehearsal process, what blossomed from that connection, almost like osmosis, was I became an extension of her. And as I became an extension of her, I felt her emotions before they were visual to the observant eye, even to the audience members. That's how connected we are. So with rhythm, with speed, with intention, learning the lines became, I don't even know, it's almost like a secondary part of really understanding her rhythms and her patterns, because ASL is similar to Japanese in that the verb and subject sometimes come last. So in English, it's not a literal translation. ASL is cinematic. And so it shows the whole idea and concept as opposed to an English literal linear translation. So it's three-dimensional. This is what's so exciting about watching ASL. ASL is three-dimensional. English is one-dimensional. It is linear. So you have all of these colors exploding on stage. And I think it's a much more rewarding type of theater. I hope to do more of this in the future. Yeah.
Once again, I really love the performance. I love the entire ensemble because you guys were, again, so synced. It was like, a community effort.
Yes.
It wasn't like any one individual was like standing out or the star. It was like the entire group, because there were great performances all the way top to bottom. Every single person there did a beautifully touching performance, no matter which one you were.
Oh, thank you so very much. I agree. It's the ensemble worked very hard to create that sense of unity, that singular being, that heartbeat, that pulse of the show. And the cast is phenomenal, and I am so blessed to be working with such amazing professionals, delightful people. I love each and every one of them. They raise the bar. We each support each other out there, and what more could you ask for in a production? And of course, the Fountain is superbly supportive of us, and they have given us everything that we've needed to trust that this process, this daunting process of what we were putting together, was going to work, and to trust that it was going to blossom into something quite extraordinary. And I think we've seen that. There's nothing like this out there. There is nothing like this production being performed right now. The Fountain, with Arrival and Departure, has created a brand new idea and innovative concept for theater. I don't believe after this production, after people and audiences see this production, that the deaf-hearing theater community will remain the same. They're going to want to jump on this bandwagon. I believe right now with Arrival and Departure that the Fountain is the vanguard of a new style of theater.
Once again, I really love the performance. I loved you in it also.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Brian Robert Burns. What's up, UCI? I'm here at the Fountain Theater. I'm playing Doug at our new play, Arrival and Departure. I'm very happy to be a part of the Fountain Theater family.
Great. And which character did you play tonight?
I played Doug. He is the father of that lovely little girl that you just interviewed. Her name is Aurelia, but in the show, her name is Jewel. And I am a hearing husband to a deaf wife who meets a deaf stranger at a coffee shop, and chaos ensues from there.
Yeah, but what's he like? I mean, what's he like inside? Is he a good guy, bad guy? Is he strict? Is he... What's he like?
Looking for a villain, eh? So Doug, I find Doug to be an individual who is, he's committed to his faith, and he very much wants to incorporate his love for his family and his love for his faith into the home that he wants to build. I find that he finds some tension between the idea of it in his mind and the reality of it in real life. And I think you find that particularly with Doug, as you go through the play, I kind of find him fumbling and working through these challenges that he has. He's pursuing this idea, but as we often find in pursuing an idea, it's not really what you thought it was going to be. And, so it challenges his faith, it challenges his love for his family, and he's really got to look inside of himself and figure out, where that all lands, where the balance is for that.
My son is blind. He's disabled, basically. He actually goes to church. And one of the reasons why is because they just surround him with so much love. Sincere love, because like these people, you know how these people, they're like your best friend. They say, I'm glad to meet you. Why don't you come to my house? Let's get together and talk. They're like that, and then they kind of disappear for a while. With him, they're like that for 10 years. For 10 years, they're constantly coming up to, are you okay? Do you need help with something? 10 years, and after that, it's obviously very genuine, because no one can fake it for 10 years. But I'm tremendously grateful for those people, for the way they behave. But sometimes I'm thinking back in my mind, if my son gets married, is that person going to marry him just because he's blind? She feels sorry for him. She feels like she has to take care of them. Is that because it's part of her faith that there's some obligation? What happens if he meets someone that is really blind and they just share a common connection? What would happen like that? I always wonder things like that.
Well, it's an interesting thing that you bring up. My father actually has cerebral palsy, which is it's a muscular distortion that works from your brain. It's a birth defect that you have from the day that you're born. And my mother is, she was not born disabled or handicapped. They went to high school together. My father knew that he was in love with her. Took him a little time, and she figured it out, and they ended up together, and here I am. Not once did my mother ever feel pity for him. It wasn't ever about that. It was, it's about the integrity of the character of the individual. If somebody loves your son, they love him as he is. It doesn't have anything to do with whether or not he's blind. If he happens to meet somebody who is blind, being able to have a partner who understands the world that you live in is so important.
Arrival and Departure will be playing at the Fountain Theater from July 14th to September 30th. For more information, go to www.fountaintheater.com.